If you like this content and you want to see more, then please do consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member. If you do, you'll be able to see all of these awesome videos exclusively, and you'll be helping the channel grow to make more videos like these. Thanks for listening, and on with the show. Throughout July, classic fans of the Grand Theft Auto game San Andreas were constantly lifting up their own jaws from the floor as this incredible looking HD remake by three guys going under the name of Arcadia Squad released a unplayable demonstration. In other words, it's a trailer and nothing more, as to what they thought the game would and could look like. Now I'm taking a bit of a risk showing you this footage because it could get this video taken down, because as you would expect, this trailer was taken down by Take-Two, so that's enough footage for you. Screenshot time from here on out. Now, even though the trailer, the social media pages and everything related to this product was taken down, it was originally being crowdfunded on Patreon. Yes, Patreon, not one of the other ones like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, because long-time fans will actually know that this is not the first time I've brought this kind of thing up on the channel. Regardless, that Patreon no longer exists either. Nothing does. The real kicker is that this remake actually wasn't a remake. It was actually intended to be used by YouTube likes to make machinimas, which are essentially cinematic videos using the assets made by this talented trio. However, I think it does go without saying that once this was made, it was only a matter of time before someone used those assets to make San Andreas anyway. Was Take-Two within their right to do something like this? Well, actually yes, there's no denying that they were within their rights to do so, but should they have done it when they have no intention on making an HD version of that game that came out in 2004? Leave your opinions below. In other news, fans of The Office, as in the American one, not the original, it's time to get excited as a spin-off show based on Stan Lee called Uncle Stan showed up on the 2nd of July, and even though it has hit its goal, it seems to mostly be people who are fans of the hit show backing it to get signed Funko Pops and other trinkets. The campaign itself looks incredibly half-assed. The campaign video itself shows Uncle Stan explaining that he needs to come out of retirement in Florida to help his nephew in his motorbike florist shop. It's all extremely odd and doesn't look like it's going to work at all. Let's just hope that at the very least the campaign ends with the Office fans getting their signed merch, because if the show is anything like this campaign video, I think we're all in for an incredibly mediocre time. I bet that Dwight failed spin-off doesn't sound so bad now, does it? And then on July the 5th, a brand new game that totally wasn't inspired by another not so popular series called Pokemon, I think? Yeah, well, this came out and then quickly got cancelled the very same day. MINIMON, which is short for Mini Monsters, didn't really have a plan. Everything he or she claimed would be made from scratch, but in regards to a real video game, there wasn't much here. The first point alone gives us everything we need. I plan to rely on the support of backers to help finance this project. If 5,000 people out of the entire gaming community, which is more than 5,000 people, can purchase the $100 reward package, I'm sure developers will jump at the chance to be part of this project. Yeah, doesn't exactly fill you with confidence, does it? Hey there guys, welcome to Kickscammer News for the month of July 2020. This is my roundup of all things crowdfunding, good or bad, on places like Kickstarter, Indiegogo and GoFundMe, plus a few more for this episode. And yeah, if it looks a little bit different than my normal episodes, that's because we're currently doing up the studio as we speak. And also because this particular episode wasn't originally sponsored by anyone, until I changed that. Yes, this episode is now kind of sponsored by Vapor95. You guys have been asking me where I get my t-shirts from lately. I got hold of the company and they have given me an affiliate link which you guys can go to down in the description to be able to get yourself some money off all of the t-shirts that you see in this particular video. So keep an eye out because I'll be constantly changing them, and you guys, if you like these or any of the other awesome vaporwave type t-shirts on their website, you can get yourself money off by using the link and the code in the description. Anyway, let's get to it. So let's start off with something positive, a brand new retro-inspired indie platform game simply called Garlic. Let me tell you guys, this couldn't be more up my street if it tried. A hardcore retro-like precision platformer which has taken cues from such titles as Super Meat Boy and Celeste to create something that actually looks completely unique in its own right. The game hit its goal on the 6th of July 2020. It needed 5,000 euros and it got 6,242 euros. In my opinion, it could have got more as it had 354 backers behind it. However, rewards themselves were pretty simple. Get a digital copy of the game for 10 euros and, well, not a whole lot else. Regardless, let's just hope that this small amount of money is enough to get this product finished by December 2020, because if it does, I will indeed be checking it out. From one classic retro-inspired game to another. However, this one is one that Nintendo fans have been wanting for a very long time. Another Crusade is another attempt at pulling on the heartstrings of Super Nintendo fans with a spiritual successor of a classic RPG and its 7 stars. I bet that had Nintendo's lawyers right on the edge of their seat. If you ask me, taking away the sprite-based fake 3D look from Mario RPG kinda instantly removes it from being anything like the original. Still, it is nice to look at for what it is going for. The campaign does a good job of showing off the gameplay, the soundtrack is good, the campaign actually does have a demo included, which is always great, but sadly it doesn't really give us too much information about the developers themselves. Regardless, with a little push, it does look like this will be hitting its goal, and if it does, well, good luck to them. Good friend of the channel and good channel all round, Retro Man Cave actually started up his own Kickstarter last month for a book called Retro Tea Breaks Volume 1. Now, I'm not going to be spending too long on this one because my help to promote this has actually come in a little bit too late, because on August the 13th, it actually smashed its goal and was completely successful. I have asked him if he'll be doing any more funding towards this afterwards, and he has said that no, he won't. So I literally can't help you getting this book if you missed out yet. Although I do highly suggest you go follow Retro Man Cave, aka Neil Thomas, as this is only volume 1, and I think it's pretty fair to say that after the success of this book, a second volume will be following at some point in the future. So that was one campaign that I personally backed, and here is another. Don't worry, there are actually some bad campaigns in this video too. July the 10th was the day that the Curse of the Sea Rats, a Ratroidvania as they put it, completed its funding with a booming 242,395 euros. And since then, the campaign owner, Patoon Studio, has been busy updating us backers with what has been going on. It's still early days, but I am indeed very excited for the development of this here game. Okay, something far more obvious to kick scammers. The gaming mod kit joystick keyboard went up on the 13th of July and has since been taken down. Aiming to please the Fortnite community, this tacked-on analog thumbstick essentially just sits at the bottom of your keyboard so that your super stretchy thumb can oh so comfortably, or not so comfortably, wiggle the stick whilst the rest of your fingers break away in their default PC position. To say the campaign did badly is an understatement. It needed $25,000 and it only got 292. But then, 2 days before the end of its campaign, Michael Stewart found his dignity and cancelled the campaign, stating that he will be selling them on his own website and he doesn't even need Kickstarter to help him. Now, granted, these newer versions do look a little bit better, but I really do not see them working the way that Michael wishes that they did. Also, a $1 pledge that doubles as a competition? That's something I've never seen before because it's completely going against Kickstarter's rules and regulations. So, what do you think? Is the analog going to work better than a WASD setup? Let me know down below. On the 14th of July, newcomer to Kickstarter Jennifer Bennett released her campaign for everybody that loves GIFs. What you essentially have is a tiny little wooden box that will most definitely not fit all phone sizes, that with an app constantly plays just lots and lots of little GIFs on your office desk that will not only destroy your battery but your productivity too. GIF TV looks nothing more than an annoying gimmick, possibly even more annoying than all of those people that can't pronounce GIF correctly. Okay, so here's one that I have actually briefly already talked about in my previous Kickscammer video. You can click the card above if you want to see that for yourself. And it's all about that barista. What barista? The Californian barista that refused to serve the conspiracy theorist Karen because she refused to wear a mask. Something that he had to ask customers, as stated by his employer, Starbucks. The guy ended up getting shamed by the woman, which then backfired, which is when a GoFundMe was set up to tip him, and he gained over $100,000. Damn it, you probably don't need to click that link now, do you? Whatever, because on July 15th, she came back with a vengeance, claiming that she was going to be going after half of his money raised. She claims that it was discrimination and everybody is okay with it and enabling and rewarding that kind of behaviour. I get shortness of breath, dizziness, and it messes with the heartbeat. And I do have asthma as well, and I do get maskne, which is mask acne. So there's several things going on, and not only that, it doesn't even work. Now look, I said it before in my previous video about this. I'm sure there are plenty of people that will argue if masks actually work or not. But my answer to this particular scenario is, one, from what I understand, you'd only need to have it on for a few minutes at the very most, so what was the problem? And secondly, as soon as he asked if she had one, she instantly flipped out, screaming and shouting. From where I'm standing, listening to her rants online and her constant promotions for her mask burnings, it just goes to show what kind of a person she is. If you don't want to wear them, then don't. But don't shame the people that do want to wear them, whether they are effective or not. She tried her best to shame this young barista using his image, and now because her image was used in the promotion of the GoFundMe, she wants half the money. Do you think she would be happy to hand over half of her money if she raised $100,000 using his image? My guess is no. Because of this, the barista has now had to use some of that money raised to get legal advice to help him against her possible upcoming attack. If anything else happens off the back of this, you can be damn sure that I will be covering it in a future episode. Okay, so from one fairly dodgy campaign to one that seems dodgy, but actually is completely true. Helping the Woman with a Heart of Gold was set up on the 16th, and even though alarm bells are ringing for someone like me that covers stuff like this all the time, I can't actually find any dishonesty in this campaign. Look, okay, let me explain. So this lady went to the shop, she found $1 on the floor, she had recently lost her job, as many people have in the earlier part of 2020, and she used it to buy a scratch card. This scratch card ended up netting her $100. And even though she was hard up for money, struggling to pay her bills and all that jazz, she did in fact donate all of the $100 to a recently shot policeman and his family. This campaign was set up by the Kansas City Police Department, who tried to convince her to keep the money for herself, and it has now raised, as of the scripting of this video, over $160,000. It's such an unbelievable story, and it is getting swamped with donations all the time. Still, it is, from what I can tell, completely true. And it just goes to show that even in this time of need, when everybody is down and out on their luck, there are a few individuals out there that can make the biggest differences. Okay, so here's one that is completely wrong. Apparently, gaydar actually exists. Oh, so this is just so wrong on practically, no, scrap that, every single level. Not only will it simply, just not work, newsflash, the muscles in your face do not determine how gay or straight you are, but also the whole thing is created by a few Russian Reddit users who are seriously the most transphobic and anti-gay people you can imagine, claiming that bisexuality doesn't exist and using a clip itself that has nothing to do with the product in the first place from a Toronto news channel. This is just simply wrong. The users got deleted on Kickstarter and Reddit, as well as their subreddit, and the campaign has thankfully gone too. This way. There you go. On the 18th of July, a brand new Indiegogo campaign found its way onto the site to rebuild the original ORCA boat from the first Jaws movie, and it's actually got people that worked on the movie to help rebuild it. Even though the campaign owner's own website is down, which is not a good start, the Indiegogo sadly isn't going to be hitting anywhere near its goal of $150,000. But it still will earn at least $10,000 raised due to flexible funding. Now, in all fairness, the majority of the money raised is going on little trinkets like enamel pins and t-shirts, posters and all of this sort of stuff, and the real highlight for backers is a documentary based on the restoration of the iconic boat. Sadly, nobody really seems to care all that much. In a desperate attempt to raise extra money, the ORCA team have actually launched a referral contest on Indiegogo, another first, something I've never seen before, with the top prize being able to actually ride the ORCA itself, except that it's probably not going to be hitting its target, is it? So is that boat ever going to get restored? My guess is no. HasLab are back. Now, you may remember Hasbro's own crowdfunding site that I brought up in the first ever Kickscammer news, used to raise the money needed to ship the War for Cybertron Unicron figure. Well, they're back again with the already wildly successful X-Men Legend Sentinel 26.3-inch figure with LED lights in his head, tentacle accessories, damaged headgear and extra smaller figures when certain stretch goals are reached, which they already have. Fans and collectors of X-Men toys have been going crazy for this figure, and rightfully so, and if it keeps going on the way it does, it actually looks to be one of HasLab's most popular crowdfunding campaigns yet. Okay, so here's something that's completely standard for Kickstarters and Indiegogos, a brand new arcade cabinet. However, what makes this arcade cabinet different is the fact that it has completely smashed its goal due to having officially licensed games such as Double Dragon, Dragon's Lair, and now Sega too. The difference between this and, I don't know, say the 1-up machines is that not only can this play more than what's just built in without the modifications, but it actually has an online store where you can download the games yourself. Is this a good idea for a cabinet? Let me know your thoughts down below. Personally, I love that Sega are pumping out more and more of their arcade back catalogue rather than their Mega Drive catalogue into different arcade machines lately. And the lineup found on this is hopefully the start of something extra special. This is the sort of project I closely follow, so expect to hear more about this in the future. Suikoden is blowing up on Kickstarter right now with this spiritual successor. Eiyuden Chronicle, I'm sure I've just said that wrong, is jumping into the ever-increasing let's make the sequel ourselves Japanese Kickstarters that the likes of Bloodstained, Mighty No. 9 and Wonderful 101 have done in the past. For fans of JRPGs, this is a no-brainer. A beautifully rich-looking JRPG that's only doing what it needs to do. It's not going for crazy square Final Fantasy 27-like futuristic graphics. It's gonna have a retro appeal, and it's gonna have the original creators involved in making it. Already, the campaign has the equivalent of over $2 million in the bank, and with 15 days to go, this is going to be nothing but a success. Another gorgeous game found its way onto Kickstarter on the 28th of July, which is essentially a cross between Alien Isolation and Jurassic Park. Now, granted, the game isn't going to be out until September of 2021, and the game does look very nice, but on closer inspection it is indeed not in-game graphics. I'm not saying that PCs can't handle these sort of graphics, I'm just saying that the way the character moves around just seems way too smooth and wavy to be real. It's the kind of stuff that you see at E3 when companies are showing off teasers for upcoming games years and years before their release. Let's hope that this doesn't take that long, because if it does play anything like this teaser shows, I am all in. And finally, for my recommendation of the month, I have yet another campaign by the awesome Mr. Chris Wilkins. FYI guys, there's nothing in this for me. I do know the people behind this one, but at the same time, if you know me, I am indeed a big fan of publications like these. And Chris has actually pumped out some bloody awesome releases over the years. This is just the next one. And as usual, you're going to be having some of my YouTube friends in there too, possibly even me. And his previously released Dizzy history book was an excellent resource when researching for my next complete history. If this sounds up your street, just like all of the previously mentioned campaigns, links can all be found in the description. And there you have it guys, that is my roundup for the month of July 2020 on sites such as Kickstarter, Indiegogo and GoFundMe, plus a few others as HasLab and Patreon, blah blah blah. As usual, I want to give a massive shout out to all of my Patrons and YouTube members that help me out every single month, with an extra big shout out going to Nightwill and Lobster Smashing on a Keyboard, who always help me make videos like these. If you have suggestions for future Kickscammer news segments, please go and join my Kickscammer Detective Agency over in my Discord, where you can post your links. Again, as always, thank you for checking out the show, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.